Hey, you want it? I got it. Let's talk about it. All right, coming to you hot, raw, and uncut. All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the page. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment. All right. Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Okay, we opened it up. Well, first of all, let me say this. You got a few matches on here that we've seen, I think, more than what we want to. I have no idea what's going on as far as the booking and the writing. Like Io Sky. Io Sky has been champion now. What 5 months now? Maybe six. I think she may have defended her title maybe once, and now with Rhea Ripley coming out on the promo calling her out and everything. First of all, talking about his Monday Night Mommy and stuff. And then Io Sky, comes out and as they're talking, she's saying that um, Adam gave her a chance to pick out who she wants, to defend her title. I guess at Evolution, and she said that she wants the best and only the best. And I guess, as far as that's concerned, that's going to be Rhea Ripley and stuff at this time. But as we know, I think they've wrestled about maybe this year 6 or 7 times this year, maybe 4 or 5, and it was for the same title and stuff. And I think it's just repetitive and everything that they do that. It's just crazy how they have that going as far as that. But anyway, we get the match for Evolution. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky will go at it for the women's title. So, and then we get this little segment with Dom and AJ Styles. And has this letter from the doctor saying that he's still not, able to wrestle. And it was a kind of little funny little segment and everything. And, AJ takes the doctor's note out of Dominic's hand and he looks at it, reads it with his funny looking glasses on and stuff like that. And then gives the paper back. And so I think there's going to be something with them two going. Hopefully, maybe it might be at Saturday Night main event for the Intercontinental title. But it's going to happen. Like Dom is going to probably try to talk his way out. But eventually AJ Styles is going to get his hands on him, and we'll see how that comes out. Dom might still be champion. He may be champion for a little while and everything. But anyway, let's get into the meats and the potatoes of tonight on Raw. So we have the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and JD McDonagh going up against the New Day. It was actually a pretty good match and stuff. It was back and forth. These guys really put it out. Finn Balor really showed, himself kicking out of multiple times, kicking out of pinfalls and everything. I thought the match was exciting. It was going back and forth and stuff. I don't like the fact that, the New Day loses the titles and stuff because they've had the titles for a few months, and I think they've only defended the titles maybe once, maybe twice, and look who they lost it to. The same people that they've been going back and forth with and everything. And like I said, a lot of these matches are matches that have been going on forever, but there's never been any great storylines to them and stuff. But, Judgment Day have the title, and it's looking like the Judgment Day has both the men and women's tag title and the Intercontinental title. So their stable is pretty stacked with the gold and stuff. And then after that match moves on to Bayley. Her and Lara get into it about how Lara has been interfered in the match last week to cause Bayley to lose, the women's Intercontinental title. And so now they get into this big shouting match with each other. Adam Pearce comes out, makes a match for them later on, for later on tonight into the show, and it would be for whoever wins would be number one to go against Becky Lynch. I'm sure probably at Evolution. But anyway, we move on to that, and we have like a little Gunther, I mean not a Gunther, but a Goldberg reel, which is pretty good, showing how Goldberg, did all his things. He went, I think, in WCW, I think he went like 120 and 0. And I mean, he's had a pretty good run with WCW when it was around, and the latter part of when he was, still able to get in the ring with WWE and stuff. But it's going to be something to see that him and Gunther and everything, like Goldberg being 58 and stuff. So I'm saying that Gunther might have him gassed out maybe in 3 to 5 minutes. So we'll see. But anyway, moving on to the card, we have Chad Gable, an American Made, telling them, to hold the fort down because he's going to be out for a few because of what happened last week between him and Penta and everything. So on that scale, he tells them to listen to whatever Ivy Niles has to, tells them to do. And then it was asked by Nick what's going to go on with El Grande Americano. And, Chad said El Grande Americano could take care of his own and stuff like that. So, but in the background of that, Ludwig Kaiser's in the background and stuff. And it's real weird that he's back there because it just looks weird, But anyway, so they give him, he tells, the Creed brothers to listen to Ivory if anything has to come up as far as, American Made is concerned. And then, there's Judgment Day, in their little segment is telling Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce that they should let Roxanne, or they should not take the belt away from Raquel Rodriguez and let Roxanne, fill in that spot for Liv Morgan until Liv Morgan comes back. It'll be a while. I'm sure Liv probably won't be back until maybe October, November, maybe somewhere around there, maybe around Survivor Series when it happens. But she's going to be out for a while. But in the long run, they agreed to it. But in the agreement, they said that they have to prove themselves to a tag team from Raw, a tag team from SmackDown, a tag team from NXT. And that event will be a fatal four-way at Evolution, which I think will probably be good. I'm waiting to see who those tag teams are and everything. So, but on from there, oh Lord, it was a good night. And then we have Karrion Kross. He attacked Sami Zayn with a pipe and everything, and for some reason he keeps telling Sami Zayn to tell the truth, but tell the truth about what? What does Sami Zayn have to say that Karrion Kross wants him to say? I don't know. It's kind of a little bit confusing and everything. You know what I'm saying? And stuff. And then Nick Aldis, and then Adam Pearce again. They say for Evolution that they're going to have a Royal Rumble. Well, they had a Royal Rumble last Evolution, so why not have one for this one and everything? And then the winner of that will go on to the PLE that's going to be held in Paris, France. Not sure if they're going to get a title match or whatever that case may be. Maybe not be for a main title, might be for a mid title maybe and stuff, but they didn't go into details, so I'm sure later on that they'll probably will go further into that, for whoever wins that Royal Rumble at Evolution and stuff. So, and then we have Sheamus and Rusev. This was a pretty good match also. Like I said, it wasn't really that bad. Raw wasn't really that bad. Okay, so it was Rusev and Sheamus They went back and forth, and everything. Um, and Rusev hits Sheamus with a matcha kick. And I don't even know what that is, but it's some kind of kick that he hits him with. He tries to get him in, in the accolade, but it was a good fight. It was good back and forth. Most of all, throughout the whole match, it was good. It could have gone either way and stuff, but Rusev, ends up and he gets the win. And then we have Gunther coming out in his promo, and he's talking about Goldberg and stuff, and on and on and on and on about Goldberg. I mean, it's the same thing over and over and over, about him and Goldberg and stuff. So, well, this match with him and Goldberg is going to be something. I don't know. I feel that Gunther's going to gas Goldberg out within 5 minutes of the match and everything, and then it's on after that. I think exactly what he said is he's going to beat Goldberg up. I know Goldberg will probably get some in. It would be cool for Goldberg to beat him, but it wouldn't make any sense of that. And then as Gunther is talking, then out comes Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins telling Gunther, as long as he has that case, any title, is up for grabs and stuff. And I don't know why he would do that. But anyway, the title that Gunther has, you remember, Seth Rollins was the inaugural for that title and stuff, because it was during the time where Roman Reigns, was, champion on both sides and stuff. So they needed another champion that was going to be a full-time champion who's going to be wrestling, every week defending the title, which never happened because once Seth Rollins got the title, he had it for about a little over a year, maybe, then he loses the title and stuff, but Gunther hits the title and Gunther doesn't do anything with the title and everything. It's just crazy. They get these titles and these championships and they don't do nothing with them. They don't do anything with none of these titles. You don't really have, and then the storylines that go along with the titles, they really suck. They really do. And one day we're going to have a good PLE, good SmackDowns, and Raw. I'm praying on it. I hope it happens and everything. But in that segment, as Seth Rollins is talking, out comes CM Punk. So now here they go. They are battling and stuff. And then Seth Rollins gets away from CM Punk. He goes up the stairs through the audience, through the crowd and stuff. And as he gets to the top and everything, he's just talking smack back to CM Punk. And then behind him here is LA Knight. And then he turns around. LA Knight hits him with some popcorn. And now they're at it. Boom, 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 boom. And stuff. Seth Rollins gets away. So, man. So with the Seth Rollins and LA Knight, so that's probably going to be a match for Saturday night main event. And it's like a no-nonsense match because what if LA Knight beats Seth Rollins? So where does that put Seth Rollins as far as him being Money in the Bank winner? I think what they might need to do is, since LA Knight is that guy who could or should be a world champion because he's at that level, and I don't understand why they won't let him be who he is. LA Knight should have doggone won Money in the Bank. It should not be Seth Rollins doing this and everything. It shouldn't even be Seth. And I agree with some of the people that I've heard talk. And this is coming from me too, because I've said this before also. The LA Knight, Seth Rollins, put him in a ladder match. Let them fight for the briefcase again and see who has it. But I know that's not going to happen. And anything, no, that's not going to happen. But it would be cool if it did and stuff. But anyway, they're going to have that match at main event. But Seth Rollins has his goons, so no telling what could happen during that match And then we get, the part to where Roxanne is elected into the Judgment Day, and they let her tag with Raquel Rodriguez and everything. They already know the stipulation of what's going to be going down at Evolution. So Roxanne now she's a tag team champion. So that's cool, right? Because I like Roxanne. See how they manage and how they hold on to the belts if they hold on to the belts. See if they can make it through Evolution. Then you got Bailey and Lara. That match goes on and on and on. And it's okay. A lot of few missed spots and everything, little botches and everything. And then we get this. A double pinfall. And I knew it. I knew this match was probably going to end up being a triple threat. Is it going to be for Saturday Night Main Event or is it going to be for Evolution? It makes every sense for it to be Evolution because it would cover one of the matches, in Evolution for the all women's, PLE. So that would be a good, good match going on and stuff. So then you have Sami Zayn and Penta going up against Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Wow. Now, Sammy's got all these busted up ribs and everything. I know Penta isn't in at 100%. Going against these two big guys, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. But it was an okay match. They did what they had to do and stuff. Sami Zayn, he, fought his fight and everything. Penta did a pretty good job. But let me tell you, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, they ain't no joke. I know at this point right now, people are calling them jobbers. Why they would Seth Rollins, Seth is taking things away from them where they could be as far as, singles guys going for, individual titles, which is true, which is true. But if Seth Rollins or if the Riders do it right, maybe Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker could be, the Raw Tag Team Champions, and Seth Rollins could be a champion. Who knows? But I think down the road that Braun Breaker or Bronson Reed is going to turn on somebody, and that whole faction is going to be out because now Paul Heyman, he doesn't say anything anymore. He is wordless when he comes down to the ring. Braun Breaker seems like he frightens Paul Heyman every time. Paul Heyman's talking and Braun Breaker comes in and, does what he does to Paul Heyman and stuff. It's just weird and stuff. But at the end of the match, when they won, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, they win that match. Then they do a little attack on Penta and Sami Zayn. And during that attack, here we go. The Yeet Master comes out. Jey Uso comes out and everything. Nails Braun Breaker with a chair. Knocks Bronson Reed off the rope. And, he helps Sami Zayn and Penta and everything, So here they are standing in the ring, as a three-person. I think they're going to end up having all three of them go against Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, and Penta. I think that's a match that's probably going to happen. And it could happen at Saturday Night Main Event. I don't know, but that's what it looks like and stuff. But that is it for the Raw recap. Thanks for watching. Hope you're having a great night. God bless you. Deuces. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, leave a comment. Let me know how you're feeling. And again, thank you for watching. Deuces, and I'll see you on the next video.